What's up, guys? This is D Brown with Trackheads, and this is part 2 to the 2023 USA Championships to qualify for Budapest World Championships track and field. All right, so to go right along, I just predicted in part 1 the 100, the 200 for the men and women. Now we're going to the 400 and the hurdles. Okay, so for the 400, this is for the men. For the 400, I have Vernon Norwood taking this. Okay, so Vernon Norwood's been really consistent. You know, his race model has been really consistent. His strength has been really consistent. He's been really keeping up with a lot of the big dogs. I mean, he's a big dog himself, but he's been keeping up with a lot of the big dogs, the Karani Jameses, really finishing well in that last 120 to 100 meters of his run. So I definitely predict that he would. There's no reason why I don't see him qualifying in the top 3 of this run, if not winning and taking the whole thing. You know, the men's 400 has been really open with Michael Norman not competing this year in the 400 and trying the 100. Yeah, I definitely see him taking this. The next person I have is Ryan Willey. You know, it's really crazy because I don't see any non-collegiate 400-meter athletes really being a threat this year. It's really interesting this year. But like I said, I have Vernon Norwood. Next person I have is Ryan Willey. I have Ryan Willey from the University of Florida. The reason why I have him is because in the NCAAs, he got 2nd place, right? But his coach, Coach Holloway, said that he had an accident. He fell a couple days leading up to the NCAA, so he was kind of banged up, so he didn't really give the performance that he could have. I mean, it's been like 2-3 weeks since NCAAs. He still ran a pretty quality time, like 44.5, 44.4, something around there. So I'm definitely looking to see how he does, and if you know, if the trend continues. University of Florida always has a 400-meter athlete somewhere in the mix when it comes to these making these championships. Last year was Champion Allison, who popped out with a 43 and some change, that out of nowhere, you know, after winning NCAA. So I don't see why, or not winning. I don't think he won NCAAs, but after coming top 3 in NCAA, so I don't see why Ryan Willey can't do the same exact thing, especially because he won't be banged up from that accident that he had on the scooter, right? Next person I have is Justin Robinson. So Justin Robinson was a 400-meter phenom in high school, definitely qualified for the finals when he was in high school at some of these U.S. championships. He had a heck of a year. He led his 4x4 team to come in 2nd in University of Florida, running like 2:57, which is unheard of to get 2nd place. He's been pretty consistent all year. I mean, pretty consistent all year. Been in the mix, top 3 NCAAs, really just been killing it. So I think it's going to be his moment to shine, especially now that he's like a junior or a senior. A couple years have passed since high school. He's a lot stronger, and he has a good crew to train with in Arizona. So I definitely see him making top 3. My dark horse for the 400-meter dash, pending if he's healthy, because it's been, you know, I heard he popped his hamstring in the 4x1, would be Elijah Godwin. You know, very unfortunate that he was not able to, you know, to participate in the NCAAs in the 400-meter final. But if the hamstring injury isn't too bad and he retains some strength, he should be able to be in the mix somewhere. You know, sometimes when you're doing so many events and you're training and your hamstring just kind of goes, you know, and if he's able to get healthy and his body's able to recover, he should be able to perform really well, at least for those couple you know, races that he has, which is prelims, semis, and finals. So I have him as the dark horse. Like I said, it's pretty wide open for the men's 400. Should be interesting. The women's 400 is going to be very interesting as well. I think it's a pretty easy guess. Sydney McLaughlin is definitely going to be a favorite for the 400. I mean, has the fastest time in the year for the Americans. And when you have a 50.6 400-meter hurdle personal best, and that can qualify you for this as well, I mean, I don't see how she doesn't make this team pending injury. You know, she may even break 40. You know, she may even like run low 49 to high 50s. We don't know, but it should be a really quality race. Next person I have on this is Britton Wilson. You know, she did not have the best NCAA championship performance that she would have hoped for, but I mean, she has the championship record. She's strong in the 600, strong in the 800, and she has foot speed. I mean, I don't think there's anyone really beating those two. Again, pending injury. If she stays focused and she focuses on one event, I think she's gonna probably kill it this year in the 400 to qualify. The number 3 person I have is probably like a pick that no one really is talking about, is Talitha Diggs from the University of Florida. One thing I noticed about Talitha Diggs is that she has spent majority of the year, unlike any other year, really focusing on her speed. She ran close to 7 seconds in the 60. She broke 11 seconds in the 100. Her 200-meter personal best came down this year. All those things, and she seems like she's naturally strong too, especially with her history of her history of 800-meter runners. I definitely think that she's in a primed position to really have a big breakthrough in this USA Championships to qualify for Worlds this year. I could definitely see her breaking through 50 seconds. I think Britton Wilson was a very big shock to her in the indoor season, but if her, she has a very smart coach, he knows what he's doing, and she's just been getting faster and faster and faster, I guess, to make the opening 200 feel more comfortable so that she can have a better rhythm throughout her race. So I definitely want to look out for her, especially heading into these runs. And she's a championship performer as well. Definitely someone you want to have on the 4x4 relay. And last but not least, the dark horse that I have is Lena Irby. Lena Irby, I think she's married now, so Lena Irby Jackson, I believe, is her name that she's attached to herself. She's someone who's been University of Georgia alum, someone who's been really, really consistent this year. She's been in the 50s, in the 51 lows to 50 ranges. She's been getting her rhythm back. So I've definitely been looking forward to see how she does this year in this particular race. But I definitely, like I said, it's wide open. Anyone could have a breakthrough, but that's the person that I have as the dark horse, just because of how consistent she's been, especially overseas. Now I have the men's 110-meter hurdle. So this one isn't gonna be too hard to really pick by. Like I said, it's pretty open and shut, at least in my opinion. I have Daniel Roberts, who recently just went 13:01, I believe, one of his fastest times since his collegiate year. He trains with Alan Johnson, the GOAT, for the most sub 13 second 110-meter hurdles at the North Carolina A&T. So I'm definitely looking forward to him to lead the way. Next I have is Devin Allen. Devin Allen, championship performer as well, football player from the Philadelphia Eagles. Definitely looking forward to see him and what he can do to be a tremendous asset to the team. Last year he didn't really have his time to shine because of the disqualification. But that man's a championship performer, second fastest all time, 20.84, I believe. So he's going to be primed and ready to go. Third person I have is Cordell Tinch. So Cordell did not have his time to shine with this Bowerman list. Division 2 or Division 3 athlete, I believe. I think it's Division 2, I want to say. I'm not particularly sure, but has the world lead, 12.96. And the fastest wind aided time at 12.8 low. So I don't see how this man does not make the team. He's peaking at the right time. He just went professional, and he's hungry. He's ready to show I belong on this team, and I should have belonged on the Bowerman list for the best performance of the NCAAs, no matter the division. So I'm really looking forward to see how he does for this particular event. For the 100-meter hurdles, it's tough because you have all these talented athletes really just ready to go. It's probably the most competitive event of the whole entire meet. But I have Kenny Harrison. I'm qualifying for it. She's been really consistent. She's now training with Sidney McLaughlin's coach. I forgot his name. The GOAT, the master. The Godfather is what they call him. So Kenny Harrison, she's been looking really, really good. She looks just full of confidence. She's looked refreshed, right? You have Alicia Johnson. So Alicia Johnson, unsigned, but she is hungry, man. She actually was one of the few athletes to beat to beat the Olympic champion from 2021, the Puerto Rican young lady. So I'm definitely looking forward to see how she continues to go to progress. Her last couple of events have been kind of weird because she's been clipping hurdles, especially the first hurdle and the third, some of the first couple hurdles. So if she can clean that up, she could definitely be someone who can sneak in there and probably beat Kenny Harrison. The next person that I have making this team is Messiah Russell. So Messiah Russell is an athlete from Kentucky who I believe can definitely snatch this event and probably win the whole thing, because in those SECs and in these NCAAs and a lot of these really tough meets, first of all, she has a collegiate record, but second of all, in some of these meets, she keeps hitting the first hurdle, bang, keeps hitting it, and then just when you think she's out the race, she fixes her rhythm and gets into position of some of these races to win it or get top 3. And I think if she is able to limit the mistakes that she has in those first two hurdle hits, she's in prime position to get top 3 and, again, if not win this race. It's a game of inches with some of these runs. So assuming that no one false starts, assuming that no one falls, I definitely think that she can sneak in there to go get that. The dark horse I have is Nia Ali. Nia Ali is a championship performer. Somehow she manages to always sneak in for 3rd, for 2nd, or win it just when you think that she's not able to. So I definitely think that you should keep an eye on how she does, especially going from heat to heat, because I think a lot of these young ladies who hit fast times early in the year are not going to be able to handle the rounds, are going to have, you know, mistakes, hit the hurdles, false starts, or different things like that. So just keep an eye out for Nia Ali, because she always finds a way to make it on that team. Okay. Next but not least, I have the 400-meter hurdles. So I'm just going to do the 400-meter hurdles for men, because the women, it's tough. You know, it's tough. I know what, I might actually do the women as well, because why not? Okay, so for the 400-meter hurdles for men, I have Rai Benjamin. Right, he only ran one race this year that I'm aware of in terms of the 400-meter hurdles, but he seems pretty fast. I'm not sure if he's training with Michael Norman this year, which could be the reason why his rhythm is a little off, or he may not be running these races. It could be a hamstring issue. It could be a lot of different injuries that he's not necessarily disclosing, but he only had one race this year to judge him off of, and it was a low 47, I believe, and he looked he said he was battling from COVID or whatever the case is. So, I mean, he's still Rai Benjamin, the 46-47 second 400-meter hurdler, and there's no one that has beat his time this year. So I definitely think there's going to be a prime race for him. The next person I have is CJ Allen. CJ Allen's been Mr. Consistency. If there's anyone that's going to be Rai Benjamin, is going to be him, just off of sheer rhythm. His rhythm is there. He hasn't broken down rhythm. He's been running internationally really well, and just being able to handle those rounds. So I think he's probably going to pop something really disgusting heading into this year, okay, or heading into this particular meet. Next person I have is Trevor Bassett. So Trevor Bassett is Mr. Clutch, right? He always finds a way to go from this rhythm of 48 seconds and then drop down into this 47-second rhythm when it counts. Okay, whether it's the change of his steps or whatever the case is. But he trains at University of Florida now. He has a new coach with new training partners and everything like that. So I'm really looking forward to see how he does. I think he trains with Quincy Hall as well. So that definitely should be like a very interesting run that he has. And with that being said, some of the dark horses that I have is Khalifa Rosser, and I have Quincy Hall. So both of these athletes, you know, like I said, are very prime to do something disgusting at these 400-meter hurdles. If anyone makes a mistake, if anyone hits the 10th hurdle, 9th hurdle, clips a hurdle on the back stretch is going to be those two athletes I feel like are going to take the biggest advantage. Khalifa Rosser definitely on the finish. He's a very strong athlete. He trains with Dalila Muhammad's coach, you know, the hurdle mechanic, I believe. And then, like I said, also Quincy Hall trains at the University of Florida with Trevor Bassett, and he just actually ran like 45 low in the open 400-meter dash recently, and it's one of these American track league events. So I'm definitely looking forward to see who does what, but definitely should be a quality race. And for last but not least, I have the 400-meter hurdle. So it's a really tough race to kind of like pick apart. So I'm just gonna go for it. Okay, I think that the winner of this event, or the person that's going to qualify the best or the most or whatever the case is going to be Shamir Little. Okay, Shamir Little has been killing it. I mean, it's her time to shine. I mean, Sydney McLaughlin is not there. It seems like Dalila Muhammad is kind of trying to figure her season out. She's not racing as often. I'm not sure if that's because she's on a decline or if she's trying to preserve her legs or whatever the case is, but she's not in a rhythm where she's asserting her dominance unless you're in practice with her and you can actually see what's going on. So I have Shamir Little winning it, not just qualifying, but winning it and doing it big, as long as she doesn't get in her own way, like clipping a hurdle or having like little mistakes here or there. Next person I have is Anna Cockrell. I think she's been primed for a breakthrough for quite some time. She has the foot speed. She's in the 100-meter hurdles. I don't see why she doesn't qualify in this particular run. You know, I think in order to qualify, you're gonna need to run 54 seconds or faster to qualify, and I don't see why she doesn't make this run. Okay. Next person that I have is Dalilah Muhammad. So again, I'm going off of the fact of who she is as an athlete. She's a very clutch performer. She takes it out, and I think that if she's able to hang on, you know, given her condition, if she's injured or given the fact that she's in shape, I feel like she should be able to at least be able to hit like a 53.5 to qualify. I don't see why not. You know, I don't see why not. She is, as long as she just goes for it. And I don't really have any dark horses per se. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't really have any dark horses for the 400-meter hurdles, but yeah, these are some heck of predictions. You know what I mean? I hope you enjoyed the predictions that I had. If you had any predictions of yourself, definitely leave a comment, show some love. And not just that, you know, these are going to be some very interesting events to see what happens. You know, it never happens the way we think it's going to happen. So definitely, you know, put your comments below of who you think I got wrong, who do you think I got right, who do you agree with, who do you disagree with, who did I miss? Because there's always someone to miss. You know, I didn't put a lot of the collegiate athletes on paper to see how fast they were going to be running, especially for the 100. There's Courtney Lindsay, there's Matthew Bowling that everyone's been raving about. Is he peaking at the right time? All these things, you know. So I'm very interested to see what you guys think. Does Matthew Bowling break 20 seconds for the first time all year and run like 19.8 to qualify, beating Fred Curley, beating Terrence Laird, beating Robert Gregory, beating Josephus Lyles, beating Ariane Knighton? Is he the mystic guy? I think these are all things we have to consider when we're talking about a lot of these predictions. So without further ado, I want to thank you guys for watching. This is D Brown with Trackheads. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you haven't already, subscribe, notification bell, the whole nine. This is D Brown with Trackheads. Peace.